Don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know?
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Raquel.
I'm Jacob.
And this is
Don't You Know?
Okay, so we are glad that you guys have tuned in. We are sorry that we were not here last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were vacationing in the Bahamas. No, that's not true.
No, my grandma came in and I just didn't have the time to edit a podcast because it's been like almost a year since I've seen her, so
Life got in the
we
way.
decided to take a short break.
It's important to know. Don't you know? Call your grannies. If they're still alive, you know they love you. Give them a call.
Yes, we had a great time. We played Drawful too.
Is that like a drawing game?
Yeah.
Is that
like our
similar
Don't You
to
Know-
Don't You Draw? That thing we just recorded? Oh.
Oh, I should have been very good then since I had a lot of practice this weekend.
Oh, yeah. What is
This
that?
didn't turn out very well either. Oh man, for shame.
There were a couple that went south on my end, too.
My art degree is like cringing at all of my drawings.
Nice.
Anyways, moving on. Let's start with updates for the podcast. I don't think that we mentioned who won for last month. So Virginia obviously won. And as a congratulations to Virginia, because not only are they, this is like the second or third time they've won, but they've been winning by like a huge landslide.
Awesome.
So our next podcast will be on Virginia, even though I'm pretty sure neither of us have been. So probably what we'll do is do kind of like weird state laws for it.
Okay.
And then kind of do commentary on it.
Yeah, because both of us, neither of us living there, will make for a very informative podcast. We'll Google it. I'll look into history. I like history, and there's a lot of like Civil War and like Revolutionary War stuff that happened in Virginia. There's a lot in Virginia. I have actually been to Virginia too. Went to Jamestown, so yeah, I'll find some stuff. I'll get my thinking cap on. We'll do you right.
So, updates from me. Like I said, my grandma came. We played Drawful 2. It comes from the Jackbox kind of party thing. And so we all did that. That was very fun. I also started watching this series called Tell Me a Story. I was kind of hesitant on it at first because it's from CW. And just watching the first episode, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch this. Because CW makes their political views very, very clear.
Wear it on their sleeve, eh?
And it's just like, you know, politics isn't everything, but when you make it just so clear and such a big part of it, that's when it's like, okay, I can't watch this. Like, I'm not even watching the superhero shows anymore from CW. Because it's just ridiculous.
Dang.
They just want to turn it into a political propaganda kind of thing and blah. But come the second or third episode, it got better. And it didn't really have so much of that, at least not smack in your face kind of anymore. So it's pretty good. It takes 3 classic kind of fairy tales. 3 Little Pigs, Red Riding Hood, and Hansel and Gretel. And it turns them into a kind of like modern thriller.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I could pick out the 3 Little Pigs very easily. I could pick out the Red Riding Hood very easily. Now, Hansel and Gretel one, I actually had to look it up because I was like, I don't know which fairy tale these characters are supposed to be. And it might just be because I'm not very familiar with Hansel and Gretel. The only thing I know is about the breadcrumbs and the witch kind of thing. And so nothing really stood out. Now, thinking back on it though, like, the 2 main characters, the sister and brother, one's name is Hannah and the other one's name is Gabe. So
okay, H and G.
But that's like really the only thing that stood out that has made me like.
What's their story arc? Are they like I don't know, are they like addicts who
I can't say anything really about it. It's gonna kind of ruin it.
Gotcha.
So the Red Riding Hood one is very obvious. It's Red Riding Hood because it has like constantly like there's one point where she's going outside and the grandmother's like, oh, here, take this rain jacket before you go, and it's a red rain jacket.
Oh
she
yeah,
doesn't take it.
Pretty spells it out for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a bright red rain jacket. And then there's another time where she's in her grandmother's shop and she's messing around and she is messing around with like this red kind of cloak thing. The 3 Little Pig ones is very obvious. It's the 3 Little Pigs because it's like they're wearing 3 masks. The 3 guys are wearing 3 masks.
Mm-hmm.
They're pigs.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward as well.
Pretty obvious. Yeah. So like I said, the Hansel and Gretel one, I don't know. Nothing about like breadcrumbs or anything like that really made it like really stand out that it was Hansel and Gretel. Just I guess the siblings and then the names, I guess, were supposed to give it away. Anyways, so far it's pretty good. I'm on like the 3rd episode or something like that. And that's it for me.
Cool. We've been watching, I watched the movie Intacto again. It's a Spanish film about, a society of people who are gamblers and they're also lucky and they have a gift. Whether it's superstitious or real is up for you to decide. But, basically the people search for others with this gift, the lucky ones, and they have them play games and they chase their fortune up through the story. And it's a very, very interesting story. It's pretty stylish. It's multilingual, so if you don't mind reading subtitles, it's kind of fun there too. Very good story.
I don't like reading subtitles.
Well, it's
Sorry.
a good movie anyway, and it's like a third to a half of it is in English anyway, so they change back and forth. Anyway, it was tough at the beginning when I was like, well, maybe there won't be that much that's not in English and we can just try and follow along. Because I speak a little Spanish. You can kind of pick up on like Italian and stuff if you are familiar with languages. But like, no, they were going so fast. It was kind of funny. Like, there's this one scene. I was like, we found the subtitles later. And I was watching and I was like, okay, I think he stole from a bank and he's on the run and they're chasing him. Turns out he did steal from a bank, but that wasn't what they were talking about. They were talking about something completely different. So I just put 2 different scenes together. He mentioned a bank, but he wasn't talking about the guy who stole from a bank. He was talking about an insurance company. Okay. So my Spanish is a little off. He's a great detective. No, he's just an awful translator. And he got lucky. I didn't spoil anything. That's not what it's about. Anyway, yeah, good movie. Pretty fun. Nothing too much else. Just some games here and there. Just like totally accurate battle simulator. Got a new update and I got that. It's pretty funny. But it's just a silly game. Nothing too fancy. Oh, updates for life. I did a bunch of lawn work. Got a lawnmower and some power tools.
Nice.
Got stabbed while doing tree stuff. Not by the lawnmower or anything. It was by a branch with a point. Anyway, I'm fine. I'll recover. But it's good. The lawn looks great. That's all I got.
Speaking of subtitles, I forgot me and my brother watched one episode of this anime that was in sub. So my brother came over, and there's one kind of anime I've been wanting to watch. We were eating dinner, so normally we watch something, and I figured maybe this would be something that both me and him would enjoy, so we watched it. First episode, really, really good. He almost watched the second episode without me, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I was gonna watch this with you. Like, I wasn't gonna watch it on the side. I was gonna wait for you. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you want to watch it, because we don't always have time to watch stuff together. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, like, are you really, really that interested in it? I mean, if you are, go ahead and watch it. I'll just watch it on my own. But right. I figured this would be something good that anytime that we did sit down and eat, we would already know what we're going to watch next. Instead, because half the time we spend like 10 minutes like trying to figure out what we want to watch, what we both agree to watch on.
Yeah. What if you set up a compromise where it's like, okay, we watch every day at 7, but if I'm not there, you can watch it on your own time and I'll catch up that evening or something like that.
Well, it's only one season. It's not like and it's done. It's finished, I'm pretty sure. So it's not like it's going to continue on.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then I watched both my brothers play a game called Ark, and I attempted it.
Nice. Ark Survival?
I don't know. He just called it Ark.
It's like caveman and stuff. There's dinosaurs?
Yes.
Yeah, Ark Survival. Yes. How was it?
It was not very good. It was not very good on my end. It was not very good. That should have been Rocky Doesn't Game.
Nice.
At one point, so the very first thing I was on the dinosaur, and I was like, this dinosaur's slow. I can run faster than this. And then my brother's like, you click this and it makes it go fast. And I was like, oh, okay. And then there was another time I was like dying of dehydration. I was like, why am I being hurt? And they're like, you need water. And I was like, oh. And I remember him saying that you have to go out into the ocean when you need water. So I like ran out into the ocean. And I was like, what do I do now? I'm dying.
Salt water, always good for quenching your thirst. Survival games are hard. And if you don't know if you want to learn survival games, I would try Don't Starve. It's a light game that's kind of like top down. It's more cartoonish. Mm-hmm. It's a little less hardcore. It is hardcore, but it's more. It'll help teach those elements of not dying of hunger or thirst, or you don't have to drink in that game. It's a gentle introduction. It's brutal too.
I think what got me was that they had already been playing. It wasn't like I had tutorial, so I just kind of had to guess what everything was.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're jumping in and they've already got everything. That's way different.
Yeah, and I think I'll probably going on from Rocky Doesn't Game. I'll probably do that. I'll probably just go ahead and skip tutorials and just kind of jump right in and see how that turns out.
Playing them blind.
I think that's more interesting.
Recipe for success. Sometimes. So I watch YouTuber Sips, Well, now he's a Twitch streamer. I used to watch YouTuber Sips. That he would do that. He would skip the tutorials. A lot of times it was very fun. Sometimes it's incredibly painful watching him go, "Why won't these things connect?" And if you read the tutorial, he would know that they go one direction and you gotta switch it around by pushing R for rotate. And he spent like 45 minutes and then he's like, "This game's stupid, don't buy it." And then they contacted him, they're like, "Sir, can you try it again?" You press R to rotate. He tried again, like, "Okay, this is fun, sorry about that." So, there's a fine line.
Yeah, like, I did the tutorial for the reroll, I did the tutorial for the fairy tale, and yes, they both were kind of needed to understand how the game played, but they were very boring to watch.
I saw reroll and it was so slow. But good tutorials don't have to be boring, though. Speaking as a technical communicator, you can do it in subtle, organic ways.
Your brother said that it was a good video.
I didn't say it wasn't a good video. I just said, yeah, the tutorial was long and...
That's why I did, like, sped it up in certain parts, because I was like, this is kind of long and kind of boring.
That was your pilot video, congratulations.
Let's go ahead and get into our topic then, I guess, because, like, we have been rambling on a tangent so long.
Yeah, this has been a very long recording session for a couple of technical reasons, too, so let's dive right in.
Okay, so our topic today is Friday, Florida.
Florida?
And
Friday in Florida.
It's Friday. In Florida, and, I've been there a couple of times, but you are from Florida, so you're going to be mainly leading the gates on this.
Yeah, born and raised. So I've been in Georgia a long time, but I always consider myself a Florida guy. Just because, like, I feel like the attitude and, like, the mindset's different there. Subtly. It's still, a lot of places are southeast. Let me just jump right in. A lot of places are southeast, you know, and in a lot of ways, Georgia's very, very similar to Florida. So, but there are things about Florida that are completely different to other states, and you know, everybody knows Florida Man. So we'll get into that.
Yep, that's actually one of my notes, which is
Should
Florida
we just
Man.
open up with Florida Man?
I think so. I think that's the perfect opening topic. From a previous podcast episode, you have mentioned that you do not like Florida Man.
It's all right. I'm Googling him now so we can see what Urban Dictionary says. Florida Man, a key word used to describe all the weird news stories about random Floridians committing weird and dumb crimes. Due to the state law regarding freedom of press about the fact that every police or court case must be public. Most of these weird stories, however, are related to the white Florida men, the police, and drugs. Due to this is why people outside Florida hate Florida. Can also be used as Florida woman. I have a list of examples here. From Urban Dictionary. Examples. Florida man lights off fireworks inside Wendy's restaurant. Yeah, I can see that being done. Florida man caught watching solar eclipse while stealing car. I mean, somebody out there was stealing a car in a lot of states and looked up and checked it out. Florida man swings 4-foot alligator towards customers. Okay, now that's something that only happens in Florida. There's about 10 more, but I don't really need to go
alligator down. When you hear Florida, alligator's got to be somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, I mean you're very much now. Again, that's something that's in Georgia too, but in Florida they're everywhere. You got the Everglades. I've been to the Everglades on motorboat, airboat. You know.
But don't you know, a Floridan reaction to alligator is different from everyone else's reaction.
Oh yeah,
to
like
an
you're not
alligator.
scared of them. Like you don't want to like get bit by one. Obviously, no Florida man's out there trying to get bit. But we're still swimming because they're not going to come get you. You just splash around. You're not their food. They're going to leave you alone. Unless it's mating territory and you're near their eggs, then they'll mess with you. But they're not trying to eat people. They're just big lizards that just want to scurry away. You know, look at your dog, though. I don't laugh about
That's
that.
not funny.
It's not funny. But they will. Can't go swimming with old Yippee.
Okay, I think what we should do, and I've seen this trend before, it's a really, really old one, so we're going to bring it back up just because it has to deal with Florida.
Okay.
And you might have an idea of where I'm going with this.
Nope, so far no.
Okay, type in Florida Man and your birthday.
Okay.
Not the year, just the date. So mine is hot sauce saves Florida man after car crash into Taco Bell.
It saved him?
Yeah, that's what it says.
How did it save
saves
him?
Florida man. I don't know. Let's look.
I need some more information. I got Florida man gets pulled over for speeding. Realizes cops can't search what they can't open. All right, let me read up. He decided to lock his car, and then throw his keys in the car to prevent a search.
Mine is a guy was eating Taco Bell and he realized he needed more hot sauce, and so he got up to go get more hot sauce and where he was sitting, a car ran into the Taco Bell.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so he got up and it saved his life. Interesting. Be careful. Don't you know? Don't crash into a Taco Bell. And don't you know? Throw some hot sauce on there. Life's too short to not appreciate spice.
Okay, well,
Mine says that it didn't actually prevent the search. It just held them up a little bit and gave them more reason to search the car. So,
yeah, when you're going to those extremes.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I've been to Florida, and I have to say, the Florida that I've been to is not like anything like Florida Man. And then you talking about Florida and seeing some of your pictures and stuff like that is nothing like the Florida that I've been to or Florida Man. So obviously, and I think we've mentioned this before, is Florida has like lots of different variations, kind of
It's
like,
pretty diverse,
California
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you go to Miami, you're going to get something completely different than going to Gainesville, or going to Daytona, or then going to, like, the Space Coast or whatever, or going to Disney World. A lot of people go to Disney World, the main one, in Florida, Orlando.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, you want to go to the land of Disney or the world of Disney?
Yeah, go to the land.
Yeah, okay, land's like a few acres, World is the entire world. Anyway.
Now, I do think probably Disney World probably is better, because I think you get all the rides first before they come over here.
It's got the main castle from when you start a Disney movie. Hello, it's OG. Orlando, go Florida.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but you get all the trial rides. We get all the ones that are deemed okay and safe.
Yeah, sure.
Because Florida Man will try those rides out.
We got 4 kingdoms. 5, I think. Anyway, yeah, we will try them out.
So, my experience is Panama City. That's where I've been to in Florida.
Hilariously, I've never been to PCB. I've been to Daytona. I was more of an East Coast kind of guy.
And that obviously is not really a good representation of Florida, because pretty much everyone that's there is a tourist.
Yeah,
you don't have too many locals other than the people who are selling stuff.
And that's another thing is that, don't you know, Florida's, I won't say hate, because that's a strong word, and a large part of our income depends on them, but true, like, people who live in Florida don't look forward to, like, September when the snowbirds start coming down to their winter homes down in Florida, and then they're angry, aggressive drivers that are used to city life. They go down here to chill. In Florida, you're not all stuck up. You're not wearing a suit and tie every day. You can't do that. You gotta go business casual with an open thing and some loose. It's hot and it's humid. You're wearing flip-flops, and you're wearing jeans rolled up because you thought it was cool and then it got really hot, so you rolled them up and you don't care. Because just like in Georgia, I think I said this on the last one, you go in someplace and you're sweaty, they know. They understand. It's 98 and humid. Come on in. Get in the AC. Florida's easygoing. It is. It's chill. And that's why we have all the crazy stuff. Because we're so easygoing. A lot of places won't even touch a gator. We're going to throw a 4-foot gator at someone. We're going to use one offense. No. Don't throw gators at people.
Okay.
That was a tangent. I think, don't you know where easygoing?
So I have an article, which is 10 most unusual laws in Florida.
Okay.
So, the very first one. In the state of Florida, it is illegal to park or drive over top of a gravesite.
I think that should be illegal in all places. I'm glad we have that illegal.
Okay. In the city of Cape Coral, do you know where that is?
Cape Coral.
Oh,
I believe
is it
it's
Corral?
Southwest. I believe it's Cape Coral.
Oh, I thought it looks
I'm
like
gonna be
it's
a
spelled
fake
Cape
Floridian.
Coral.
It might be Cape Coral, and they're all mad at me. Yeah, it's
They're
by
like,
Fort
your
Myers.
Floridian rights have been rejected. You are now only a Georgian.
I never been there.
A person can be fined $50 for keeping a couch underneath their outdoor carport.
Interesting. I wonder why.
Maybe because it encourages homeless people to stay on the couches?
vagrancy.
I don't know.
I got no idea. Yeah, I never been down to the Fort Myers.
It is illegal for a woman to fall asleep under a hairdryer while at a hair salon. I feel like I've heard that before. I didn't know that was pertaining to
sounds dangerous.
Florida, though.
Sounds real dangerous.
Anyone who is convicted of corrupting the public's moral can be given a misdemeanor offense in Florida. So the question is, what is considered corrupting the public's moral?
Yeah, that's weird. You're just advocating degeneracy outside the state building. You're gonna get a misdemeanor fine.
It was way too open. Okay. In the city of Pensacola, Did I say that right?
Pensacola. Don't you know all of the? There's a big thing in the U.S. though. There's a lot of Native Americans from in and around Florida. So a lot of the names are like Pensacola, Ocala, like Tallahassee. That's where a lot of those come from.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry
That's
on.
why I was.
Pensacola.
And see, the thing is like I feel like that's a really big one, and that's why I called it Pensacola because I felt like that's where I've heard it pronounced as before.
Yeah.
And so I
You nailed
wanted
it.
to.
You're right.
But you never know because you have like Atlanta. You don't pronounce the T's.
Right, I've heard that meme.
Coweta. Some people call it Coweta. It's Coweta. That's what the county I grew up in. Okay, in the city of Pensacola, rolling a barrel down the street is considered illegal.
Interesting.
You may also face a fine depending on the contents of your barrel.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I wonder who was doing that. That's funny. That's one of the furthest west cities you can go.
If you plant a flower in a pot without a drainage hole, you have created a public nuisance. What?
Wonder why.
That's weird.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Don't you know in Florida there's a lot of mosquitoes? Because it's humid, the water doesn't evaporate all the time. So if you got standing water, you get mosquito larvae in there. So you don't want your plant pots filling up with the rain, and the mosquitoes coming in, planting eggs, and now you got 50 more mosquitoes out there, times however many plant pots you got.
Okay, that makes sense.
If I know plant people, they got a lot of plant pots. Interesting.
If you are tried and convicted of horse theft, the penalty in Florida is still written as death by hanging.
Dang. Horse theft. Okay, so there's a lot of Florida horse places. The place that I'm from was called the Horse County Capital of the World. Now, that's a big claim. I've never researched it, but that's what they had written on the sign when you came into town. So, yeah, I could imagine that horse theft being a big deal because horses are expensive. They're expensive to maintain. They cost a lot of money, and it's a big commitment.
Well, I think some of this, too, is that this is a law that was written a long time ago, and they just never changed the sentencing. So it's still written as death by hanging.
Yeah, because, like, who's going to steal a horse nowadays? I mean, yeah, they're expensive, but they're expensive to steal. You got to, like, put it on a You can't just steal a horse. It's in the Wild West anymore. They're just going to catch you in a car. Yeah, look at that guy riding a horse down I-75.
Did you know that Florida law state that all doors to public buildings must open in the outward direction? That should be a law everywhere.
You know why?
It's a fire safety issue.
It is a fire safety, but more importantly, it's a hurricane issue. Because you get hurricanes coming through, it blows your doors in. Versus if they open outside, it presses them against the door. They got nowhere to go. Don't you know? You're going to see a few hurricanes if you live in Florida.
Yeah. And see, for me, my first instinct is always to open the door outward, depending on where I'm going, because it's a fire safety if it doesn't. Because they've had this issue before where I think it was the theater, and there was a fire, and people went rushing towards the door. And the thing was everyone was slammed up against the door, but the door opened inward, so they couldn't open the doors because everyone in the back was pushing forward. Well, you can't open the door inward if everyone's pushed up against the door.
It was a nightclub or something, I think, or a jazz club.
Oh, it wasn't a nightclub? I thought it was a theater. Yeah,
it might have been a theater. I think there were two of them. I think there was it's happened in a couple places. It's a real tragedy each time.
Yeah, and so they should be open out.
Definitely.
So anytime I go anywhere and I notice the door opens the other way, I'm always like, this is a fire.
Gotta look for a second one. Second exit. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Ignoring most teenagers in the state, Florida still considers skateboarding without a license to be illegal.
Oh, yeah? Without a license? Like a driver's license? Interesting. Never heard of that. Well, I've done a little bit of skateboarding in Florida, but I've had my license the whole time, so I'm good.
Okay. And then the last one. If you have a pregnant pig on your hands, Florida law requires that it be kept free from a confining cage.
Just a pregnant one?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Yeah, we love our swine. Bacon's important.
Okay. Well, that's all I have. So, anything else? Up to you, Florida man?
Don't you know, Juan Ponce de Leon is an important person in Florida. He's the Spanish explorer that discovered the place. You know, Columbus for us. He hit that tip.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So that's kind of interesting. I just remember hearing about him in Florida. You also got to know, so I got a few, I googled some things. I'm going to go through them real fast because I got to wrap up. Things that Florida people always hear. Well, you live in Florida, you must go to the beach every day. I was as much inland as you can go, so no, I did not go to the beach every day. Do you own any clothes besides flip-flops and swimsuits? I do. I've never been big into flip-flops, but I do have some. They're important to have. I try and wear real shoes because I don't want people seeing my toes. But yeah, a lot of people have flip-flops. And I will say, don't you know, Florida guy don't care about getting wet. Like, we'll dry, not afraid. I can have wet hair. I just wipe my hands on my pants if I wash them. I don't care about being wet. We're always wet. Don't you wonder what a real winter would be like? It's true. We don't get much snow. We consider like 50 pretty cold. We got jackets on. I think the coldest winters I've had have been in like the teens, which some people are like, wow, that's nothing. But yeah, no, there's still gets pretty cold, but we don't get, and it's not that cold. Have you ever been bitten by a shark? No, never seen a shark. Seen dolphins in the water while I was swimming. Definitely seen gators. I mentioned gators earlier, but they're more known than sharks. This article's not too good. Not everyone here is retired. It's not the heat, it's the humidity. Okay, so that's one thing about the humidity. If you've not experienced humidity, well, you must know. You live in a very dry heat state now, don't you?
Yeah, and like the thing is okay, so Georgia's humidity is crazy. And actually me and my grandma were talking about it when she came out. And now I live closer to the beach, and so I do get some humidity. My mom gets like no humidity. So when I was over there, her temperature was hotter than it was here, but it felt kind of nice because it was just a dry heat. So you just kind of felt warm. It's here, it's like sticky.
Oh yeah, it's good.
And, like, it's no. I don't know what it is about like humidity. It just makes it like feel miserable. Like it could be dry heat and it could be super hot, and that's okay. It just feels warm, and then you get like humidity, and all of a sudden it's like it just feels suffocating.
You're breathing water.
It feels sticky.
Your oxygen. You're not getting as much oxygen. You're getting water too. So it's like wet air. It's just rough. You can't cool. And if you sweat, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but your body just feels hot, and like. Yeah. And when it's dry heat, your body just feels warm.
Yeah.
Like the sun is beating on you, kind of like, oh, nice. Like laying inside an AC with the sun coming through the window and like laying on the little sunspot.
Yeah.
No. And like humidity, it just like feels hot.
The sweatiest day you've ever had. Yeah. Oh, it's brutal. No, one time I was at a camp. It was for Jared. I probably told the story. We were doing physical training, and it was in Arizona. It was like 115 degrees, but dry. And I was doing jumping jacks and stuff, and I was like totally fine. And there were people from Missouri like literally passing out, and rightfully so. It was 115 degrees, and we're doing jumping jacks. Poor thing. But yeah, no, the dry heat way better than a humid heat. Sports are pretty. I'm just gonna skim these because I gotta get going. Sports, it's always the Gators or the Seminoles, but never both. And then if you're a hipster or something, you go for like the Hurricanes or something like that. People in Florida practically invented the laissez-faire mentality.
Does that mean you go for them?
Huh? No, laissez-faire is like live and let live. It's like you can try and like be
I'm talking about the other one. You said if you're a hipster, you go for so you go for the Hurricanes.
Well,
right?
They're not the best. They're from Miami, so my family is from Miami. Which is completely different. Like, the lower third of the state is way different than the upper 2/3.
I love how he's like, if you're a hipster, you go for the Hurricanes. And then I'm like, well, do you go for the Hurricanes then? You're like, well, see, here's the thing. You see what happened was...
No,
you're not joking. A hipster. You have a reason behind it.
Yeah. No, it's not a hipster thing. I'm just joking. I just said it because it's not listed. It's the third option.
Okay.
Floridians never let it rain in their parade. Yeah, that's true. We just keep going. Get your poncho or you just get rained on. Floridians are proud to be from the gunshine state. Oh, that's true. Like concealed carry is very open out there. Not open carry. I mean, open carry is too, but it's good laws, but a lot of people are carrying out in Florida. And rightfully so. Floridians are sweet as key lime pie. Do like key lime pie. Love to eat from a melting
key lime pie isn't sweet.
Well, it can't be. Everyone in Florida learns to tolerate tourists from an early age. When it comes to driving, they don't have a ton of room to judge. I'm a pretty good driver. And we know how to drive in the rain. If you hear rain in a lot of other states, you hear ambulances right behind them, but...
Oh yeah,
Florida,
here
we know how to
like
go.
lights will go out, like street lights will go out, and like cars go like super slow. I've never seen anyone drive so slow.
So number 9, Floridians are weird and darn proud of it. And it's true. I've always said that Floridians are like the Australians of the U.S. And if you've ever met Australians, couldn't be more accurate.
So I see this TikTok, and it's mostly kind of like COVID kind of stuff, and basically this guy does a representation of each state, like he's the state, and then it's Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. is kind of like seeing how the states are doing. And basically, Florida is there all the time. And Florida is like not bright at all. And he's like a party kind of state. Like he's always talking
People
about
love
partying.
to
And he's
hate.
like, he's all like, we opened the beaches back up. And he's like, what? No, why would you do that? Nah, it's all right. And like, he doesn't really like admit that COVID really exists or it's like a serious thing.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of rebels without a cause down there. It's true.
Okay. Well, are you done?
I'm done. Yeah, that's all I got. It's been a fun episode.
Yeah. So please share us, like us, follow, subscribe. You can send us some feedback or some suggestions for Virginia at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com, or you can send it to us at don'tyouknowpod, our Twitter. Sorry. I don't know where I was going with that. You can send it to our Twitter at don'tyouknowpod.
Excellent.
That's it.
That's all we got. That's a wrap.
Yep. Thanks for listening. Until next time, guys. See ya.
See ya.